Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. So tonight's video I'm going to talk to you about the tactical analysis I've done using AI and how I've implemented it into a number of my fixtures for my main teams, the Peacocks FC. I'm not going to touch upon the reserves team because I'm currently running an experiment this week where the reserves team is being run by AI. Mixed results, I'll say. But at the moment, for the main team, going very well. Based on the pre-season forecasting, we were about the fourth strongest team in the league, as I recall, and the fifth strongest team were very close behind us, fighting for that fourth position. But we're doing rather well. We've got a 5-point buffer at the moment in third place, going rather well. Got a couple of decent results, and not lost in the league yet. Touch wood. But what I want to show you is based on my last video where I did outsmarting opponents using AI. I want to show you how I've put it into action, how it's paid dividends. I'll show some successes. I'll show where it hasn't worked out because it's not infallible this. But while I'm on my YouTube channel, if you do like the content, do give me a like. Feel free to comment away. I'm more than happy to chat on the videos. And equally, if you haven't clicked subscribe yet, please do so. I'm really trying to grow the numbers on the channel. But without further ado, I'll jump over to my spreadsheet. So here we are, we're on my league opposition tracker document. In my last video, I showed you how to gather this data. It was going on to a particular game, match report, F12, pulls up the dev tools, find the line that says with formation, right click, copy response, put it in a text or a Word doc, upload that then to AI and ask it to run some analysis. There are limitations. It doesn't track every single metric. The screenshot approach that I've shown you previously is way more effective in that regard, but it can streamline the process and you can give the AI tool a lot of data very quickly, which I did. I gave it every round of fixtures that had been played up to round 7 fixtures. So all the team selections are also gathered here. So I can look, I've been analysing match rotation. Because part of today's video is I want to talk about the correlations I'm starting to see between performance and fatigue on players, which I'll share that insight towards the back end of the video. But there are 3 games in particular I wanted to speak about. The first one was Kings Mountain. They were ranked as a very similarly competitive team to myself. They were edging me on top 11 and top 16. No, that's not the wholly truth of everything, but generally speaking, it gives you a bit of a yardstick. They'd had a very good start to the season, as had I wanted to beat them. Equally, more than anything else, I didn't want to lose to them. So I went in, looked at my analysis, and went through, okay, they are the lines over here. So I was looking at, the AI was suggesting sort of various different things. The one thing that kept coming up over and over again was wanting to nullify their cam. The cam is a reasonably strong player. Comparative to my defense, so I deliberately changed my instructions. I had low positional freedom on my CDMs, had them on tight marking as well, and got them being quite aggressive and managed to nullify that individual in the game. As you can see, overall, really restricted them to very few shots and managed to have a few turnovers myself. I wanted to exploit the flanks. I felt like there was joy here because they had a very attacking forward 4 with 2 holding in the middle. I could overload that in particular by playing the ball down the flanks as often as I can and looking to switch the play. In particular, I wanted to press their CDMs, their CMs technically, and their centre backs. So I actually put both of my strikers on press more often, and what I found was it was putting pressure on their back line when they were playing out from the back to win the ball over early, or they were trying to go a bit more direct, dropping it straight onto that solid CDM pairing I've got, or Ostapenko, who is very physically astute, winning the ball, recycling it, and off we went. And it was quite often a wave after wave of just creating opportunities and attacks. So yeah, this time worked out fairly successfully. Going on to this opponent, I rotated my team. They were ranked further down in the league. Here they are, 55 overall to top 11. I rotated to my secondary team, which if I just show you them super quick in terms of ratings, as you can see, it's not nowhere near my strength of my first team, but it was very competitive. Show you theirs. Reasonably competitive fixture here in this one, but one thing I found from the analysis when I was looking through, the AI was quite often insisting, test the goalkeeper, get pressure on the goalkeeper, take shots. In particular, had take more shots, take more long shots and stuff for my cam, because my rotational cam, as you can see, very high shooting statistic. And actually, as it works out, he scored quite a few long-range shots. I mean, which one was it that was the free kick in particular? Was it? No, it was the end of the game, that one. Was it this one in particular? I can't recall now, but yeah, I remember us just causing a lot of problems with getting the ball out wide, switching the players often as we could, creating overloads. It's not this game, it might be another one. But in particular, from the analysis that AI picked up, it picked up that their right back likes to get forward quite often, and the match reports were picking up that he tries to overload, constantly switching things. So on my left mid, I wanted him to support in defence, but I gave him more positional freedom. So he got back that little bit more, but he also pushed forward more and had my CDMs and my right mid. I actually had him less freedom, and I wanted him to be more expressive with his passing and be more direct. And what I found he was doing quite often, as well as my two CDMs, is they were constantly looking to exploit this left flank over and over again with their right back being out of position, and it constantly was just pulling their positions out, their players out of position constantly throughout the game. And we even managed to win the game with a red card. We got our centre back double booked. I mean, most of their XG came from the fact that both of their goals were penalties, which I was a bit annoyed at the time. But we were 3-1 up. 2-1 up when we got the red card. We managed to score shortly afterwards. It was 3-2 shortly after that. And I thought, oh dear, here we go. And we managed to carry on putting that pressure over and over again and keep creating those opportunities. Most of our XG actually came before the sending off and things. But anyway, tactically, that one worked out rather well. The last one was not the best. I actually listened to AI a little bit more in terms of this one. It was my secondary team. Again, I'd rotated out. They were one of the worst teams in my league. Rated bottom. So I thought my rotate team very fresh, should have no problem handling this. As you can see, dominated the game. In this one, it was again, test the goalkeeper more, take some more long shots, press more, have lots and lots of shots on their goal. I had lots of positional freedom, especially with my cam, which did pay dividends in the end. But I had risky passing on, and they were just soaking that up time and time again, bouncing back. It didn't work out in this regard. So whilst the AI is a useful tool to do some analysis, it's not the be-all and end-all. But what I have done is I've done quite a bit of data diving, a lot of research, and look at, okay, all the matches, all the results, all the teams that have been selected, how often they've rotated. And I've done a bit of analysis at this point in regards to fatigue against performance. That's what I want to share with you next. So here is the data we've been able to gather. I'm going to try and walk through this as quickly as I can, but I feel like there's a lot to unpack, so I'm just going to unpack it quickly, then get through the main insights. So straight away, the number of matches that were included in this sample size was 30. There were 42 games in total, but when we had massive overall team strength outliers like the 72 average in-game 11 of Longside versus the lowest rated team in the league, which is around 50-52, that match result was null and void. I just removed it from the sample size because, well, I just felt like the 72 average overall team were going to win that pretty much 10 out of 10. So what I did set is some parameters as to what fatigue looked like. Because at this stage, there's not enough data to draw upon conclusions like below this percentage, a player's fitness, energy level even, has a massive impact on performance at this stage. I need more data. So on the left, if it's, we'll go on the one on the right actually. The one on the right, if a team was fatigued, it was whether players had played 3 games in succession or 4 out of 5 fixtures over a 5-game period. They fell into the fatigue category. False was if they did not. So the sample size was much larger towards the true being the case of fatigue teams, and we did see that there was a higher percentage probability of a loss, increased number of draws. It doesn't mean that team can't win, but fatigue did seem to show at this stage it does have an impact in overall team performance. And it was the case for teams which in particular had high overall percentages of team strength. You noticed an increase of the number of draws, the number of losses that were starting to occur when that happens. So it's more like an accumulative piece, I believe, at this stage. The more the fatigue accumulates, the more it shows an issue. I've been looking into the analysis behind when goals were conceded in some of these games, and then the second half to the last 30 minutes, there was an increased number of goals that were negative to the team that were fatigued during that period of time. I think obviously team tactics, how aggressive you deploy your team, or aggressive formations, they likely have some sort of bearing on this. But at this stage, not enough data to really isolate it. I'm going to keep building this out over the course of the season, adding more and more data as I go. This one I found quite interesting. This is a correlation of spreadsheets. At the bottom, you've got the average overall of the team. You've got the goal difference in that particular match against themselves. The red crosses are those of teams who were classed as fatigued. Green was not fatigued. And there is a lot of there's more red crosses below in the negative goal difference area as opposed to the positive. Non-fatigued teams were more stable, they were more consistent in terms of the variance. Like very few green points fell below the -2 goal difference mark. I mean, overall isn't like infallible in this case. Even teams that were 60 to 65 rated in-game 11 averages, they were seeing negative output when I put it under the criteria of fatigued against teams that were either similar level or less than theirs. I think there's been 1 or 2 upsets. It could just be tactical, but fatigue might well be a factor as well. I mean, in particular, what do you do with this sort of information, I guess, is the point of doing this video. Well, personally, I can't advocate more to plan out your fixtures. Look at who you're playing, when you're playing them, the strength of their team, how much they may be rotating, and start forecasting, even if it's 3, 4, 5 games in advance, which team you might play, how much rotation we do. At the moment, I've got a first and a second team. First team is the strongest 11, second team is the second strongest 11. And if I do play the second team, I might play the entirety of the second team. It depends on how many games my first team have played before and what their energy level's like, or if I do a mix between the two. What I do set out, if I'm playing my first team, I'm playing my strongest 11. That is the purpose of the first team. The second team, it's a consideration. So I tried to map out my fixtures against this to sort of go, okay, need to play the first team in this game. I feel like that's what's going to give the best opportunity. I need to rest them now. As you can see, first 2 games of the season, the first team played twice, then the second team, the first team, second team. I'm trying not to deploy my first team 3 games in succession because of the negative impact that might have. And it also works out favourably in some cases because I'm going to be able to play my first team 4 out of the 6 cup fixtures. Play 3 so far. I've won 2, lost 1 when I played my second team. Actually, today I lost. But for the rest of the cup fixtures now, I'm playing my first team. And where I'm looking to rotate my second team out, majority of the time, it's because I believe my second team are strong enough to beat my opposition. But I'm going to be rolling out my first team as often as possible, even against the strongest team in the league. I want to give my first team a shot at that and see if we can do some damage. If it's an absolute landslide, I can have that consideration for the second half. And when we get to the mid-season break, I'm going to sit back and analyse and go, okay, how much impact is happening? What's the cumulative fatigue? What are the average energy levels of the players? I can't advise strongly enough that you look to do that yourself to really map out what you should be doing with your team. And overall, at the moment, it's working. The only loss my team have had in this season at all is the cup fixture we had earlier today. And to be honest, we didn't really put up much of a fight. It was quite a dominant performance from my opposition. Very interesting way of playing as well. I do advocate for this. Strong team 11 compared to my reserves, my second team, but a lot of players performing very well out of position. I think it's a very savvy way to do it. So this manager's really got something locked down here, but as you can see, fairly dominant sort of performance. My goalkeeper, I don't know if you spotted that, a 9.3. He played rather well, and it was my first team goalkeeper as well. I thought I'm going to try and give my guys a chance because my rotation goalkeeper is tragic. But yeah, what should you draw upon from all of this? I think rotation is key. I personally would never want to be starting a player less than 90%. I do think we will see instances where there's more detractions to it. The perfect conditions don't yet exist to test this in an infallible way to be able to say this is specifically what the case is. I think I'm going to be gathering the data over the course of the season, so by the end of the season I'll have a full sample size worth of data to say this is what the trend and pattern showed for the entirety of the season. Until then, I'm probably not going to touch upon this subject again. I think you need more data to it, but I know a number of people have been asking me, so I just wanted to share my initial insights. But if you're interested in how I've put this together, sort of working out as it were, or how I've tried to base a lot of this analysis, by all means reach out to me, Twitter, Discord, even just comment on the YouTube videos. It's absolutely fine. If you do happen to be new to MFL and you come across my video, sorry for this video. I think it might have just given you way too much information. But if you do happen to be brand new, as always, let's keep plugging that referral code. So if you do sign up, use a referral code. If it's not mine will be in the description. Use someone's. Don't miss out on that free common play when you get started. And also everyone who managed to get referral gets the free common player themselves. I'm at a big fat 0 at the moment. Maybe one day I'll get one. But anyway, I'm going to be looking to record something for the end of the week. AI is running my reserves team until the end of Sunday evening's games. And then I can do some sort of analysis and just show you how that experiment has gone. As I'm considering letting AI run the club in more interesting ways, like giving them a transfer budget and see if they can outperform me in transfer buying. We shall wait and see. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you haven't subscribed already, please do give the video a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.